Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories most creepy and most pasta. Tonight we have Sparky. So, for those of you just tuning in, creepypastas are short internet stories that get copied and pasted across the internet, usually on forums or Reddit No Sleep or wikis. Go Google it. So, yeah, we're doing Sparky tonight. It's a Pokemon creepypasta. Yay! Well, at least from one of us.
That requires absolutely no knowledge of the games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You have to know what a Pikachu is.
Yeah.
And everybody knows what a Pikachu is.
I will. That's one thing I will say about this one. I do commend it for breaking the mold of Pokemon pastas, where it's not about the video game, or the video game isn't the focus.
Yeah.
And it's about something that everybody can get behind. It's just really, it's more of a cursed object.
Yeah. As soon as I read the word Pokemon in this pasta,
I know.
I was like, fuck you and your fucking fuck.
Also, we would like to thank Matt from The Drunk and the Ugly for suggesting this episode this week. Thanks, Matt, and thank me for making you guys suffer. But yeah,
If it wasn't this, it'd be something else.
But yeah, so here's the rundown for it. Pretty much, it's a guy who loved Pokemon in the 90s, and when he was on his 7th birthday, he got the Pokemon game, the Game Boy Advance, or Game Boy Color, and a Pikachu plushie, and like it was the best day ever. He played it was his new best friend because he didn't have siblings or friends at the time. He did everything with this Pikachu. However, after a while, he lost the Pikachu, and then cut to some years later. He gets home one day and finds a dirty plushie a Pikachu on the counter that his dad found in at his scrapyard job in a car, and brought it home for his son because he realized that he likes Pokemon. What?
Well, you left out the fact that he named his Pikachu stuffy Sparky, and that this one also has Sparky written on the foot.
In red pen, yes. Or in red.
Because Sparky is the name of a Pikachu in the cartoon series.
Yeah.
So it's a common nickname.
Yeah.
So it's a Pikachu.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's electric.
And
Sparky.
it's small and cute, like the word Sparky.
Yeah. So yeah, he decides to go. He finds oh man, that's cool. And then he goes and cleans it up and gets all these there's all these weird stains on it, like little dots and dabs and stuff. So he goes to the laundry room and cleans all that stuff off. Then he now has a Pikachu. So he has a Pikachu again. He's not sure if it's his, or it's probably not his, although his name's Sparky. But like we said, that's a common Pokemon nickname for Pikachu. But then he just he doesn't bring it back. He doesn't bring it to his friend down the road, does he?
No.
He leaves it at home. Goes to his friend down the road.
Oh, right.
Goes to his friend down the road to play Pokemon Stadium on the N64. Then he do that for a couple of hours. Then he comes home and sleeps with a teddy bear in his arms that night, and then wakes up the next morning to a jolt, and realizes that it's not in his arms, but it's actually under the table, looking back at him upright. And he's like, "Oh man, that's a crazy throw I must have done when I woke up in a start." Also, he doesn't remember any of the dreams or something he had, because later on it's explained that he usually remembers all of his dreams. So then he puts the Pikachu in his backpack because he wants to take it to school, because he's just to have this weird secret knowledge that
he used to do that with his when he was younger. Yeah,
and even though now people kind of scorn the fact that scorn Pokemon fans in his school, he's a closet Pokemon fan. So he goes to school with them in his backpack. Realized that he's going to have to pull it out and put it in his stash in his locker. So he tries to covertly put it in there, but it's just not going to work. And at some point, the school's bullies essentially show up and see him putting it in his, throwing it into his locker and push him aside, make fun of him for having a Pikachu, throw it in the dumpster or in the garbage bin. And he just gets really angry at the person or at the bullies for doing this and just wants them dead and stuff like that. So goes home, and the Pikachu kind of smells a little bit, but it eventually, it just puts it on the end of the bed because I don't think he cleans it at this point, right? It's not until he just puts it on his bed, and after playing some Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Yellow, because you can do that with the Pokemon Stadium game on the N64. Wait, was it N64 or was it GameCube?
It's N64.
Okay. No, just So he puts it on the end of his bed, and he's going to clean, and then gets up that morning and sees that the Pikachu is not on his bed, but it's again where it was the previous day, underneath the table, upright, staring at him. It's like, man, how the hell did I get that? That's a crazy coincidence. And how did I just kick the Pikachu or drop it? It dropped rolled over in the right spot. So then he goes to school and sees that the one of the bullies is not really, or one of the bullies is there, the other one's not there, and he's just kind of mopey and shuffling around. And then he overhears some people saying that Pokemon's stupid and stuff like that, and he gets really angry with them and wishes some of them were dead. So he gets home and sees that there's some more stains on Pikachu, so he goes and cleans those up. And then he starts playing some more Pokemon for a couple of hours when his mom comes in with some laundry, and he gets angry with her about touching his stuff and whatnot. And as he's playing, he notices that there's another stain on the Pikachu, and then he hears his mom scream and a fall, and he runs out to the hallway, to the staircase, and sees that his mom has fallen down the stairs and broken her neck. And they call the ambulance comes in, pronounces her dead at the scene, takes her away, and then a couple of days pass of mourning, and he's released back to school, and he finds out that some other kids have died that week, and so it's kind of he gets angry that nobody cared, everybody's kind of too focused on those deaths and not his own problems, and so he wishes a bunch of other people dead, or he wishes this Chris Fallon dead.
No, he's the guy.
That's the kid that's dead. Sorry, yeah. Wow, yeah. Maybe I should have written the synopsis for this one.
He's all pissy that no one cares about his death.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he just goes back home. His dad's kind of just in a state, and then he goes up to his Pikachu, notices that there's some other stains on it, and just tells it that he wishes everybody in the world was dead or something like that. And the next day, he uses all the soap to try and get all the stains out of the Pikachu, kind of insinuating that he's essentially just mass death wished an entire either the school or the world. And that's kind of the story in a very hack jobbed synopsis. So, all right. As I said, I like the fact that it deviates from the usual we see in Pokemon creepypastas, where it isn't a video game focused story. It's just really a cursed object, and they use a Pikachu plushie as the Death Wish activating cursed artifact. But there are a lot of problems with this story. There's past and present tense rampant throughout the entire story.
Oh yeah, it switches back and forth.
Yeah, and it's not even consistent. It doesn't start off as past and then go the rest of it present. It's just dabs
back and forward.
Yeah. There's an issue here I have with there's a time frame issue here I have. So here's a quote. It was my 7th birthday. That's in paragraph 2. Then in paragraph 5, its tail was torn and the seams started to show the potential of tearing soon. But otherwise, it was an average condition, I suppose, for a 13-year-old doll. That would make this guy 20 because in Pokemon came out in 1998. Into North America, the craze. Pokemon Yellow came out in 1999, which he said he does say in the story he got a year after he got Pokemon Red. So he got this at some point in 1998 or 1999. That would make him 19 to 20. And that just, at first, when I started when I got to that 13-year-old doll thing, I was like, that's kind of weird, because he's 20-year-old, and his parents are talking to him like he's a lot younger. Like, oh, looks like you're really getting a liking to this to that new Pikachu doll. And then later on, I realized that he's in high school, and it's like, why are you 20 in high school? And then so, it's just like that. Hang on a second. So, like, best case scenario, that 13 years, like, that mention of the 13-year-old doll does not need to be in the story, because you've already broken math, or broken age, and, like, there's a time plot hole here.
Yeah, it could have been lessened the age of the doll, or just not
mention that. Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah.
Its date is what's important,
not the age. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like, it was like...
the sentence could have very well have read, it was in pretty good condition for being in the back of a car about to be wrecked. Or, crushed into a cube. Mm-hmm.
For being in a junkie.
Solves the problem right there.
Exactly.
And tells you, like, it should be rough, but it's not weird.
Yeah. But instead, the author decided to go with a very convoluted, like, time frame.
Well, not convoluted,
but like,
up.
Yeah, just contrary, contrary time frame, or didn't do the research, I guess, enough, or didn't didn't think enough of that.
It's not research; it's simple math.
Yeah.
7 plus 13 is 20.
Yeah.
20-year-olds not usually in high school.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was actually, like, before the high school thing, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of... Well, no, I guess that's not that weird that, like, a 20-year-old would have, like, a fondness for Pokemon. Because, like, nostalgia is a thing. Like, we all kind of have our own quirks for, like, childhood nostalgic things and toys and stuff like that. So...
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles are very adult.
Oh, yeah. Totes.
And totally now.
Yeah. They're
well, they are kind of now.
Thanks, Michael Bay.
Wasn't him.
There's some really big words that I feel are really unnecessary in the story. So here's some quotes. So, I couldn't remember any dream or startling stimuli. And then another one is morning ablutions, and breakfast proceeded next with ... So, like, I'm fully going to admit I had to look up what ablution was, because I've never heard of it. It's an old word. I've never heard of it. But, like, I just feel like there were other other words in the story that just felt like the guy just pulled a thesaurus or, like, wanted to be fancy, but, like...
I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Okay.
These words are common, and I actually appreciated their inclusion. Notice how I used appreciated instead of I liked their inclusion? That's what the author did.
Yeah.
He used a still common, but not the most common word. And honestly, morning ablutions just simplifies the sentence. Because he could have said, I had a shower, I took a shit, I shaved. He could have said all of this. Instead, he summed it up with one word, ablutions.
All right.
It's a good word just for that.
Okay. I am biased because, again, I didn't know what the word meant. But yeah, like, I don't know, I just think that it could have been a little bit simpler, but...
But by using a rarer word, he actually simplified the sentence.
Fair enough. There's that. Yeah. He streamlined the sentence by using that word. All right.
That one worked.
Yes.
All right.
And stimuli, what's wrong with that word?
I don't know, it just seemed like a little too weird, like, seemed out of place to me, like, for the rest of the writing, but...
But he was noting that there was no external stimuli that woke him up. I mean, yeah, it's a little more scientific than the rest of the story.
Yeah.
But the word was used properly, and... Like, he could have said, oh, there was no, jarring reason or loud noise that woke me up.
Yeah.
But instead he said, there was no...
startling stimuli.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I will admit, again, it's a nitpick. And, like, it just seemed out of place to me, but whatever.
Well, and I won't argue the out of place.
Yeah.
But I can't say it's bad writing.
You don't hate the fact that it's...
Yeah, it's not like the other... the last time that issue came up was really bad.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, for more or less, for better or worse, he's streamlining his sentences for the most part.
All right, fair enough. There's a couple of instances where there's just a missing word for really no reason.
Oh, I'll tell you the reason.
Well, I mean,
You never read over it
yeah, exactly.
before posting.
For instance, whenever anything even remotely related to the subject, I would feign disinterest or have no memory of it. I think what needs to go in between whenever even remotely related to the subject occurred, I would feign disinterest or have no memory of it. Also, trying to predict the odds of them believing me were, I think, trying to predict what the odds of them believing me were. Those are just the two that really got me because it was kind of like a double whammy, and that's kind of the issue with the story. Is like I found myself actually like not like reading it, but like stopping and taking notes because I would like hit something like an issue like the missing word or like just a weird to me it was like an out of place word, and I'd be like, all right, I can let that go, and then it would like double hit me again like a couple lines down, and I was like, whoa, okay, I got to make note of that. Contradicting information in this story. I have no siblings or friends to share these experiences with. That's earlier in the story, and then later in the story,
It's in the first.
it's in like the first couple of paragraphs,
Yeah,
and then
and then to continue that sentence, it says, "My parents had absolutely no interest in such things, so Pikachu would become my best friend."
yeah.
So that tells you that the parents have no interest in having another kid.
Okay,
No.
I didn't read that way.
It's
Yeah.
that they have no interest
In Pokemon.
Pokemon
Yeah.
or Nintendo or video games.
Yeah, that's how I read that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can understand where you come from, but yeah, like it's for that. And then later in the story, those 45 minutes that I could enjoy alone before my siblings arrived home from their school. Wait, what? And I mean, again, 13 years is enough time to generate a sibling or siblings, I guess. But what the hell? First time you're mentioning these siblings of yours, he goes like.
Well, yes, but we've also already established that it can't be 13 years that have passed.
Exactly, yeah. So.
And, yeah, if you say you don't have siblings and then you do have siblings, you bring it up before.
Yeah,
talking
like
about
there was
them.
ample time to bring it up when you found the dirty Pikachu on your kitchen counter in the first place, because it seemed like you were an only child up until that point. Or until you bring it up.
It would have been fine for if he did have new siblings, for the dad to be like, yeah, I brought it home for your sister and brother, but if you want it, have at it.
Yeah. Also, when the mother dies,
if you don't want it,
yeah, exactly, I'll give it to them.
Clean it up and give it to them.
Yeah. Also, when the mother dies, the siblings are completely out of the picture. It's just the dad, just walking around the house, and our protagonist. There is no mention about how the other siblings are feeling about the situation.
That's because they don't exist.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, the friend down the road is sort of
I know
just
what it is. The siblings are like a wizard's familiar. Only around when it's convenient.
Yeah, exactly. Problem solved. All right.
Every reader of the Order of the Stick, just squeed a little.
All right. Also, the friend next door, or the couple doors down, is sort of just discarded because, before and after he is mentioned in the story. Like at the beginning, he's
Again, wizard's familiar.
Exactly, a friend. Yeah,
He must be multi-classing as a druid and wizard, so that he can have both a familiar and an animal companion.
Nice. Yeah, because he has no friends at school. It is implied in the story, but his friends just down the road.
It's
so
not implied. It is heavily.
Oh yeah,
stated.
it is heavily stated. Yeah, but his friends just down the road. They clearly go to the same school. Did they not hang out?
Maybe he goes to a Catholic school and his friend doesn't.
I won't
or
discard
vice
that. Yeah,
versa.
I won't.
However,
again, not stated.
He's discarded as soon as he's irrelevant to the plot.
Yeah, especially since he goes to his buddy's his friend's house to go play Pokemon Stadium, and then he mentions that he goes when he goes home he has it already Pokemon Stadium already hooked up in his house. So why did you just have if you're gonna have that friend, you don't need that friend there at all. You could just say that you went back up to your room and played Pokemon Stadium, and just done away with that friend. He doesn't exist. Except for that one instance he does. He's Schrodinger's friend. But anyway, apart from that, this kid's really troubled. And I get like that being like unnoticed at school and like solitary, like introverted, like and being bullied a number of times can do that to you, like can make you that kind of like troubled person. But like, it seems that he's just he gets really sociopathic by the end of this, and it just kind of comes out of really nowhere, or like. I just feel like there need to be a better...
Is he a sociopath?
Like, wants everyone dead. Like, he becomes a self-centered, like, wants everybody dead and stuff like that.
A teenager.
Okay, fine, yeah.
Teenage angst.
Yeah, okay, I guess.
Like, I mean...
there is teenage angst.
I mean,
For a 20-year-old.
Yeah, 20-year-old teenage angst.
Happy-go-lucky like you.
Hey, I was not in school, so... But anyway, this isn't about me. This is about this 20-year-old teen angst.
Well, the angst isn't 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, so it just seemed like, I don't know, it kind of just comes out of the blue, like he just wants, like, also he just like has no awareness of what's going on, like, oh, that's gee willikers, that's a cool coincidence that it just landed perfectly so it's facing me now underneath my table, or like
coincidences happen.
Yeah, fair enough, but like, I don't know, and it was twice, it wasn't three times.
Honestly, right. I don't know why it had to be upright under his
head.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no explanation as to why it was like that, just that it was.
Pikachu goes around and murders people while no one's watching.
Exactly. And then like... Pikachu! Yeah. And I mean, there are instances where like he kind of like, not cleverly, I don't want to say cleverly, because...
No.
But like, where like he's like there's mention like it was left on the table, and then like he picks it up from the chair table, but doesn't mention that like, oh, that's weird. That's weird that it's up on the chair now and not the table.
He does mention that.
Does he?
Because he blames
his
mom
right.
for
God
moving
damn it.
it.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, okay. But I mean, yeah. All right. So there's nothing clever about that. All right. Moving on. Also, no one is named except for this random student, Chris Fallon, who doesn't like Pokemon and thinks that people should play Call of Duty and Battlefront because that's what high schoolers do. Why is this one person, and he gets killed off, like, and like people mourn him, but like
the reason he is named is so that one of the kids at school can say, "Oh, Chris Fallon and a bunch of other guys are dead."
All right, fine.
That's why he's named, and that's why no one else is because there's no need for it, and with no need, then I'm not going to do it. That's the level of interest the writer had in this story.
Yeah. The end. Okay, I will say the ending scene, like the ending zinger of like I had to like I told the Pikachu that I hated everybody and wanted them all dead, and then like the next day I spent the entire like soapbox or the soapbox, the entire bottle of soap,
laundry soap,
to clean off the stains,
which is the dumbest thing in the world.
Really? Because I actually thought that was...
because using an entire bottle of laundry soap on a single Pikachu...
is a little overkill, I will admit. But...
yeah, a capful would have been overkill.
All right. But the okay, yeah. When I think about that, yeah, it's very stupid. But when I read it, I was like, all right, that's kind of creepy because of like, all the stains, like how many stains are on it now.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
You know how I could have gotten it across? When I woke up the next morning, my Pikachu was so stained he wasn't even yellow anymore. I couldn't even see any yellow. Bam!
Yeah.
You know how stained he is.
Yeah.
And... you're not a moron who basically doesn't use water to wash the Pikachu, just uses soap.
Jeez. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it'll get the job done, I guess, but it's incredibly wasteful.
Yeah. Oh, that finishes up my... that actually adds on to what I was going to add on, where I liked the ending, but the story's so haphazard afterward that it breaks the what was rewarded. So yeah. All right. Yeah, yours works better. Yeah, there were parts I was reading this, like, near the mom's fall/death, where I was just going, no, stop writing. Less is more. Less is more. Like, he just kept, like, writing. It's like, I was like, oh, I cradled my mother without moving her, because I've heard that you shouldn't move somebody when they've taken a fall like this. I was like, no, just stop writing. You don't know what you're writing. You don't know what you're talking about. Stop. And it was just like... There are instances in this story where, like, really, again, less is more. Like, you shouldn't have kept explaining the scene. You should have just left it at a certain thing.
I didn't see a problem with it. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's not well written, but that was building up the grief that he was feeling.
I get that, but like, I just then it should have been written better, like written differently.
Everything
The
entire story should have been written better.
Yeah. This story, okay, you know what? Then I will state right now that like that, because that's pretty much the end of my notes. My finishing off from my side of the my opinion for the story is that this story needs a big editing overhaul. Like, there is just this feels like a first draft of a story.
It doesn't feel like that because there's so much wrong with it.
Yeah. Like, I wanted to go in this, like, once I realized it was about the plushie, I wanted to like this because it was not a Pokemon creepypasta that was about the video games.
That's okay. You can like that aspect,
but that's
and
all
hate the rest of the story.
Yeah, and that's really what the case is. So yeah. Anyways, you guys, do you guys have anything else? Did you guys find anything else that was wrong with it, or that you liked about it?
Well, when the 13-year-old Sparky is introduced, he automatically assumes ownership of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't ask, why is this here, whatever. He's just, it reminds you of the one I used to have. I still have to wash it a bit, but after that, I hope it should look as good old Sparky.
Yeah,
yes, but you also thought his parents had no interest in reproducing any further. But in actuality, they never did reproduce any further, and they have no interest in Pikachu.
I will actually, I will actually support you on that because I feel like the artifact, like the cursed artifact of this story, is just like kind of just again there's no like explanation. It's just he has it now, and it's mine. Like,
well, there is an explanation for it, but there's no... He does just immediately take possession of it on site. Now, I also don't understand why he had to lose his first one and then find this new one. Why did he even have to have the first one? Maybe he could have always wanted the first one.
Exactly, yeah.
Never getting it, and then finally gets one, and it's cursed.
Yeah. That would have worked a lot better.
It's a little more, haha, you coveted this so much, here are your comeuppance, now that you have it.
Yeah, it would also help his, like, kind of Pokemon obsession. It's like, because, like, throughout this, like, he's a huge fan of Pokemon, and he had that Pikachu beside him when he was a kid, playing Pokemon games and stuff like that, and, like, it was his friend. And then in this one, like, if he always wanted it one, now he has that, he can live out that nostalgic fantasy of having that Pikachu as a friend to sit beside him and play Pokemon games with. Yeah. And it would kind of make it a little less weird or a little less, like, odd, I guess, is that why, like, he was just, like, suddenly just diving into super diving into obsessive nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry, continue, Mikey.
Yes. Okay, onwards to the nitpicks. Although my friend was a bit put off by my latency, we still had fun playing N64
that's the wrong
games.
word.
Yeah, that is, okay.
It's lateness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't latency like a medical term more than like more of a?
Well, it's more computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
With network latency and stuff like that.
Like, I guess technically it's not the wrong word, but it's totally the wrong word.
It's one of those
sounds
weird
like
words
the
to
right
be there.
word, kind of.
Yeah.
No, that's the problem with it. It sounds wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like, why wouldn't you just use lateness?
Yeah, that was actually one of the ones that I did. Yeah, again, it was another one of those like, but yeah.
And this is from when he has Sparky. So I drifted slowly in sleep with the soft fabric of Sparky resting gently within my arms and the faint smell of soap floating softly upon the cold night air. He's indoors. He shouldn't have cold night air.
I rebuke that because you could have had the window open to have some cold air. So because you actually sometimes some people sleep better when there's cold air in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually refute that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I Like, I mean, I always prefer it cold.
Yeah.
Dead of winter, middle of
Oh, yeah.
summer, don't care. I want it cold to go to bed.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks I've actually had my window cracked open a bit. So, yeah, I refute your... am I saying the right word there? Refute? Rebuke.
Or refute.
Yeah. I rebuke. I'll just shut up now. Yeah. Sorry, anyways, continue.
And then there's a point where, like, he's so filled with nostalgia that the writer states, "You've never felt nostalgia like that before, I can assure you."
You don't know me.
Yeah, it's like, you don't know the reader.
Exactly, yeah.
Alright, and...
I'm drowning in nostalgia daily.
Just to go back to the whole latency thing, just a quick little Google search came up with, yeah, it's the wrong word.
Yeah.
Technically, it's the wrong word as well.
All right.
It is often associated with engineering, music, and computers. Not with
Being late.
Alright.
So, I learned something today.
Hey.
Alright, and then I have extra things that I wrote down because I read the comments and then went back to the story a little bit.
We're going to have to have like a new section, comments corner.
No, I don't do the comments often. But I just... this makes it a bit potentially R-rated, if you take it out of context.
Okay.
I also forgot to clean him when I got home, so I erected myself and cleaned Sparky in the laundry room.
Yeah, that was another one, like one of those words where I was like I was gonna write something. I was gonna write that quote down. I was like, fuck it, I'll just let it pass. I'm sure Mikey will catch that one. E stands for evil, after all. The E stands for erection. Or erection. Yeah, no. Yeah, one thing about the comments on this one, it was like, I mean, like there's a percentage of them that are like giving like the story like the criticism of like the spell with the spelling and the wording and all that stuff, and then there's just like a side of it that's just like for some like dumb reason they're just like wholeheartedly white knighting, like protecting the story, like, oh well, if you don't like this, if you don't like how the story was written, you can do can you do any better, like, or like the one that really kind of bugged me was it's like I was like, I'm not nothing against this story. It like it's obviously good. It was published here, right? Why wouldn't it be? And I was like, no. And then they go into like what they didn't like about the story or like their opinion, which it's just kind of like, no, like that's like I generally like reading PokePastas, and I know they're shit sometimes, but I won't go out of my way and say like, oh well, this story is good because it was published. It has to be good. Like, otherwise it wouldn't be published on creepypasta.com or like
that argument that it's published.
So therefore it must be good. It must be good. Yeah, no, exactly. Well, like look at the Amazon. Like, look how many.
There was actually a book that was published that's completely like horrible crap.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious to read. I think it's Atlanta Nights.
Okay.
By Travis T. It's basically a story that's written by, like, each paragraph is written by a different author.
Yeah.
And in one case, a paragraph is copied and pasted.
Oh my god.
So it's like chapter 12 and chapter 20 are the same or something like that. And it got published by a publishing company.
Jesus Christ.
So that proves that just being published doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, so I mean, like, it's just a weird, like, the comments for this one were like almost alien to look at, because it's like, really, like, you, all right, just I got like to a certain point, I was just like, I'm just not going to read these anymore. I'm done. It's like I have my notes. I'm done. I'm going to wait till the recording. Anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right. The next word cut by the comments, I'll give it the context. So this is the son talking to the mother, and then a brief sentence about what had just been said. So it's, hey, what would be the best way to clean this thing? Oh, probably just detergent and water, but I don't know why you would bother cleaning that ratty old thing. Her curtness bothered me, but I learned not to bother pressing her for information when she's purposefully ambiguous.
What? What?
She was pretty fucking clear.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's...
You know what? He meant to say ambidextrous. Ambidextrous.
Yes. Purposefully.
I don't see why it can't be that as well. It fits as well as ambiguous, alright? That's the point I'm making.
Yeah. And then the next one was, fucking greasers, I hate them all. I hate everyone at the school. My voice trailed off as I realized the daunting preceding thoughts. Daunting is the wrong word there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we've already talked about the whole tense
Yeah.
situation. There's no reason to go into that, so that's the end of...
Yeah, I was actually worried. I was because as I was note taking, I was like, man, am I going to get there's no way I'm going to get all of the ones that Mikey has, right? It's like I was like, man, I'm going to have to start my own nitpick nook.
Yeah, honestly, there isn't anything else in this story. I mean, it's poorly written.
Yeah.
The idea for the story, I don't hate. Like, the plot is fine.
Yeah.
But the execution is
So-
so horrendous that I wouldn't even recommend, like, re-editing this. Delete and rewrite,
Yeah.
like, from scratch. Just
Yeah.
round up is...
Because there's so much that needs to
It's
be
the
removed. Or needs to be,
easiest.
yeah, exactly.
It's the easiest way to fix it, because guess what? There are so many fucking tense shifts
Oh yeah.
in this story that an edit, you won't catch them all.
Yeah.
3 edits, you won't catch them all. 1 will get by, and it'll piss you off. Well, it'll piss someone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like there's like again, the concept of the idea is cool, but there's just so much wrong in the story. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but like it just means how bad it is. There's so much wrong in the story, like grammar wise, spelling wise, story writing wise. Like it just all needs like information wise, like that you're telling the person that's reading this, like that it just needs to be like it'd be like you said, it would be so much easier if it was just removed and started from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Take a concept from it and
Yeah.
then
take
rewrite.
because the idea is genuinely good. Like a cursed artifact is always a solid like narrative device.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you know, the owner of said artifact, you know, unintentionally signing the death warrants of its
Yeah.
victims. Like, I mean, it's so popular to almost be cliched, but at the same time, it works every time. Well, not every time, but more often than not. Like, it's a formula that works for a cursed object.
Yeah. Also, in this one, it's almost haphazard in this one because, like, he doesn't know it at first, but then he just doesn't know it until like maybe the last instance where he like tells, because it just doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing.
Doesn't seem like he noticed at all.
Yeah, and that's
At
the
any
problem. Like
point.
all his
Why is that a problem?
to me was
At all.
I don't know. Like it just.
That's not a problem. It's a curse.
I guess yeah.
Like, you have to believe
In a
the
cursed-
impossible
Yeah.
in order to believe that somehow his... Like, I mean, again, I would chalk it up to coincidence. Man, everyone I want to die is dying. I would not assume that my stuffed animal is killing them
True,
somehow.
yeah.
I would assume coincidence.
Yeah.
Unless
But-
I saw a knife-wielding Pikachu stuffy going after these people,
Yeah.
I would not believe that.
Yeah. Although, yeah, like that's fine. Like I'm down with that idea of like him just being completely
Like,
unaware.
as the
But
reader,
yeah.
we're allowed to jump to that conclusion. As the character,
Yeah. However, the way the ending, like the last one, is written, it seems like he kind of knew that by telling his Pikachu, the Pikachu would get it done. But maybe that's just me reading too much into what was
that's
written.
you
But
reading
yeah,
too much into it. Because for me, it was clear that when he went to bed that night, he did not know
He was
that
wiping
there was
out
going
people.
to be a lot of people dead in the morning.
fair. All right.
You know, he was a grief-stricken teenager.
Okay.
Or, you know, a typical angsty teen, like, oh, I wish everyone was dead.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, fair enough. At 20.
Yeah, 20-year-old teenager.
Yeah, that really needs to be...
We've already
yeah,
established he's not 20.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a whole lot else to be said about this one that we haven't already kind of just gone on. Because we've thoroughly, like, just picked at and, like, pulled out all the wrong and brought it to light.
A lot of the wrong.
A lot of the wrong, yeah. There's still a lot of wrong in the story, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not going through and bringing up every instance
No.
of tense shift and just.
I'm just saying,
words
yeah,
and-
like, yeah, it's better that we just say, yeah, no, this is rampant with this. Here's what's wrong. Here's some examples, but there's more of it.
The only salvageable thing in this story is the plot.
Yeah, is the concept and the plot. Yeah,
I don't think I'm overstating it by
Yeah.
saying that.
yeah. So, unanimous would not recommend.
No, God no.
Yeah.
Like,
So, yeah.
for no reason could this be recommended, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And again, like, if the author is listening to us and actually is taking this to heart, because, like, yeah, just, you have a good, the concept's cool, plot's okay, rewrite. Just start from scratch, rewrite.
Yeah.
With the plot. Like,
I genuinely got a pleasant surprise of reading the word Pokemon and then,
not wanting to crucify the cultist.
well, and then not having, like, played any Pokemon
Exactly,
games
yeah.
ever.
Yeah, no, that dread
I didn't
came
watch
to me.
the cartoon,
Yeah.
nothing. I have no experience with Pokemon. But, yeah, even I know what a fucking Pikachu is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that, like,
And
as soon
even
as
I know it's the species name, not the character name.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I guess maybe you need a little bit more than the bare basics.
But I mean, no more than like mass media culture is already given
I can
you.
see a lot of people thinking that Pikachu is the character name, not the
Yeah.
species name. But other than that, yeah, it's...
He is the goddamn
I
mascot
had the,
of that
I had
empire.
the right amount of information. Like, I had just enough information to not hate this story because it was Pokemon.
Yeah.
I hated it for different reasons.
Exactly.
Real reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, I mean, again, like...
Reasons that weren't attributed to my ignorance.
Yeah, and they weren't just your, like, opinion. Like, they spanned across 3 opinions because they are legitimate issues with the story. They aren't just like, oh, I don't, like, they're not just, like, one person's opinion of,
That
like,
being said, it
biased.
got published. But then again, you know,
We've read crappy pastas before.
we are produced, and you know we're out there too. So I guess our opinions matter. So do we overcome the fact that it's published?
They're published, but we're produced. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah. Let's try and stay a little humble.
I was just using the example that someone.
Yeah, no, I know.
used.
Yeah, I just and I think honestly, I'm just gonna on the stance of that. I'm just gonna say, commenters, don't.
You can appreciate creepypastas for what they are,
Exactly.
but don't try and pretend they're something they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, there are some really good ones. I will.
Don't
there are
pretend
not.
there is a super strict screening process for getting your creepypasta
Exactly.
on the website.
Yeah. There's like
We're living proof that there is not.
Yeah, exactly.
Because our show would have just quietly died in a corner somewhere if there was a strict screening process.
Yeah, because we didn't have like so much material to go. Anyway, with that. That has been this week's episode. If you like what you heard, if you didn't, if you're screaming at us for what we just said, leave it in the comments in the comment section below wherever this gets posted, whether it be on Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr. We're all on Twitter at E stands for Evil, Dr. Leviathan, and Review Cultist. And if you'd like to suggest some other creepypastas, or send us an email at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com, where you can leave us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. Also, rate us on iTunes, leave us a review, let us know how we're doing. If we're being shitty, let us know. If we're doing good, hey, let us know. Also, if you'd like to check out the title cards for each episode, go to crazonstudios.tumblr.com. And if you feel like supporting us, go to Patreon and look up Al Dente Rigamortis and choose the tier that you'd like to support us at. So until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm still Dr. Leviathan.
And I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And this has been El Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well. I'm gonna actually freeform the narrative or the synopsis because I had too many notes.
All right, I will correct you as you go.
Cool.
You will make mistakes.
Yeah. All right. That may or may not be edited. 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 That may or may not be edited.